Alright, so I thought I would do a review of the Stand movie, made for TV movie, TV series. I don't know what it is exactly because I finished watching it. It's like 6 hours or more. 2 3 hour sections is what I watched. But I remember back in 1990 when it came on TV, I think it was like 6 episodes, like almost an hour each. So they divided it up different, I guess for commercials or whatever. And that's weird because there's 5 days in a Monday through Friday week, so one will be on a Saturday or something. But let me go through the casting first of all. So you got Gary Sinise as Stu Redman, Molly Ringwald as Franny Goldsmith, which I didn't really see that, but you gotta have Molly Ringwald and everything. It's 90s or late 80s. Jamie Sheridan, Randall Flagg. That's pretty good casting. Laura San Giacomo as Nadine Cross. So that's the chick from Just Shoot Me with David Spade. Pretty good Nadine Cross, actually. Ruby D, it's the mother Abigail. Ossie Davis is Judge Fair. Okay, I don't know the rest of these guys. Harold Lauder is a guy named Cord Nemec. Now, I thought he was the guy from Troll 2. The guy that's like in that weird scene of like, they're gonna kill me. That's the worst movie ever made. That guy. It's a different guy, though. It's not him. Who was the Rob Lowe? He was the Nick Andros. That's pretty good casting. Now, the one I didn't think really made sense was Tom Cullen. Because in the book, he's like playing with toys. He's riding a bicycle. I kind of assumed he would be like a younger, maybe a teenager at the most. Maybe younger than that. So it turned out to be the guy from Coach that played Dauber. Bill Fagerbakke. Or Fagerbakke, or something like that. And you can see he's not really a little kid riding a bicycle. He's bigger than the main characters he runs into, which is... I just started laughing. I was like, what the hell is going on? Because it was so shocking to me. Like, look at this. Like, he's wearing overalls like a kid, but he's like gigantic, and it's just so out of place and weird. Oh yeah, there's Stu Redman as Gary Sinise back in the day. That's not a very good picture, but yeah, here's Rob Lowe's character. Stephen King actually made a cameo as one of the citizens in the town in Boulder, Colorado. So that's kind of neat. So that was pretty shocking when he's doing the MOON thing, and like he played it good. It's just not how I imagined it, I guess. So anyway, the casting is pretty decent. But then if you look at, they're doing a remake this year, supposed to be coming out. They got James Marsden as Stu Redman. They got a black guy as Larry Underwood, which is kind of weird. Because he's supposed to be a white guy who kind of sounds black. They mentioned that in the TV show that he has a black sound. Like there's this, I saw on Reddit somebody put like the most unbelievable thing about this movie is that a song called "Baby Can You Dig Your Man" was like top of the charts in the 90s or whatever. So yeah, that's what he has. He's like a. They don't really explain what type of music he is. It's kind of like a pop mixed with country, mixed with blues or something. So, in the TV show, they just kind of made him generic. Like, he kind of wears rock clothes, but he looks like a pop star, and he dresses like a country guy and has like an acoustic guitar. No, he don't dress like that. He just has an acoustic guitar, but he's a pop guy. It doesn't make a lot of sense, like what kind of music this is. It is kind of an addictive song, I guess, because had it stuck in my head the other day. So, oh, and they got Whoopi Goldberg to play Mother Abigail. How is Whoopi Goldberg going to play a 108-year-old black woman that's like so frail she can almost blow away in the wind like a dried leaf? That's how they kind of describe her. And I don't know, sitting on the porch making her own biscuits and playing guitar. I don't see Whoopi Goldberg as that at all. Amber Heard plays Nadine. I think, wasn't she like in trouble the other day for something about the coronavirus or something? Some of these other actors I don't really know, kind of no names, which is good usually. They got the Skarsgård guy from True Blood, the big Nordic guy. He's going to play Randall Flagg. That seems pretty interesting. And they got like this character named Cobb that's played by, I guess, an Indian or a black guy. I can't tell. And I think they're just adding in characters that I've never heard of. And then they got like Harold's mom as a character. I don't remember her being in the book at all. They got Mother Abigail's mom, so it must be like a flashback. And they got let's see, just a bunch of weird, like Alice Underwood. So they must be like getting deep into the book. Like if you're going back to Alice Underwood when she was like, because Larry Underwood goes through a lot of stages where he kind of like has a drug problem, he owes some debts, and he leaves his first wife and girlfriend. He goes off to New York, and then that's when the plague hits. So here's the problem with the TV show. A friend of mine said she really liked the part at the beginning where they're playing Don't Fear the Reaper, and they're going around like the army base, and they're showing everybody dead and stuff. So if this plague kills people by giving them the flu, and then they cough, and then they have snot fill their mouth, that kind of fucks up the whole concept of these kind of post-apocalyptic sets where you got, cars littered along the highway. Because you're not going to be dying mid-drive like a zombie apocalypse. I don't know how they even do it in a zombie apocalypse. It don't make sense. You're going to pull off, you're going to drive home. You're going to make it home or somewhere, a hospital or someplace where you can go off and kind of like choke on your spit or snot or whatever, and like have your coughing fits and then die there. You're not going to just keep driving. Like, where are you going? What is this magical place you're going to that's going to solve your problems? And then even like in the military base, everybody died so instantaneously. There was like a dead guy in the middle of playing ping pong. He just fell over dead. And like people were eating dinner and it just fell over in their plates. Like, it doesn't kill you that fast. They showed like when Franny's dad died, they had him in a bed and he like slowly died over like a week or something. And they were like nursing him and stuff. So how do you die in the middle of playing ping pong with people eating behind you all dying simultaneously? So it kind of made me think, like, I tried to make it make sense. So maybe the military base had some kind of safety measures in case the virus got out that he just poison gassed everybody and just killed them all instantly. I guess that could work. So, like I said in the book review, Rita Blakemore's character was cut out of the show. That was kind of a big deal with Larry Underwood. He was like fucking this old woman. And like, they got approached by somebody, and I think they had like a situation there, and then they like go to this tunnel. The Lincoln Tunnel's jammed, and she didn't want to go in with him, and he tells her to just get lost, and she leaves, and he never sees her again for a while. And then she comes in, he almost kills her in the Lincoln Tunnel because she comes back and he shoots. And so then she ends up like choking on her own vomit in the camping tent while they're fucking and stuff. It's a pretty gross situation. But they're going to bring her back in the new TV series, so that'll be interesting. But in the show, in the TV series, they had Nadine Cross kind of like take the role of Rita Blakemore. Like, they swapped her and Lucy Swan. Lucy Swan was like a minor character in the TV show. She's the one that has Joe/Leo, the kid with the kind of the shining, and he can like tell that Harold Lauder's a bad guy, and he can kind of like tell how people are good or evil or not or something like that. And yeah, so Nadine Cross is kind of like the weak, helpless one, and she likes Larry Underwood. See, there's so many characters, I gotta keep on straight in my head. She's always riding this little pink scooter around. I thought it was like a Vespa, but in the TV show it's kind of like a little motorcycle. And then the Trash Can Man in the books, he ends up bringing the nuke back on like a flame tank or something. It's kind of like an ATV, but it's like, it's different. It's some kind of flame track, like a tracked vehicle with a flamethrower on it or something like that. So I imagined it being like really good at going like an Area 51 type place. Although tracks would be super slow. But in the TV show, they just swapped it out for a big ATV with a wagon on the back. So that makes sense. So, okay. I'm kind of skipping ahead, but like when he finds the nuke, it's not like you imagine like Megaton from Fallout or anything, one of those kind of fat boy and little man kind of nukes. It's kind of like a missile warhead. There's all trays of them and racks of these missile warheads, and he brings one of them back. It's like long and thin. So in the book, when I imagine the hand of God like coming down and just stomping on it, what happened was it kind of appeared and it kind of grabbed it like this and just kind of like it was going to jack off this missile and then like heated it up and it kaboomed. So that's kind of crazy. Harold Lauder. Let me go through the Harold Lauder stuff. So first of all, he looked like the guy from Troll. He was not fat at all. He was like a good-looking guy, thin and tall, and that kind of completely goes against the description of the book. And they did this thing back in the 80s and 90s when like if somebody's supposed to be a nerdy type guy, they just gave him giant fucking awkward, unrealistic as fuck looking zits. So he had 3 giant zits on his face, which made no sense by today's standards. It doesn't look good at all. It's like the worst makeup you can do. And then like later on he kind of loses those zits, which is kind of like how the book... See, in the book, they left out all this really important Harold Lauder stuff. In the book, he sees Franny and Stu are getting together. So he sneaks into their tent when she's sleeping and he gets her diary and he reads it. And he reads that like she's falling in love with Stu and she doesn't really like him. And that kind of makes him mad. And then like he starts making his own journal. And then characters like they see this loose stone in his house when he gets his own house in Boulder. And then like they see it's a ledger but they don't read it. And then one character, I think Franny, sneaks into his basement and she finds it and she reads it. And they find out his plotting to like kill the whole town. Because it's like a slow buildup of him turning evil and wanting to kill everybody. And then in the books, in the movie, it's just like, he saw Nadine fucking Stu. Gotta kill everybody. It's on now. I'm a terrorist making a bomb. But what? That doesn't make any sense. And then even like there's this whole arc where he could kind of make up for it. He kind of turns around like a month before he's going to blow everybody up. He's on this work crew where they go around getting all the dead bodies out of the houses and turning out the power and stuff, that kind of thing. And he realizes, like, people start calling him Hawk. And he's like, oh, they're just fucking with me. And they don't think they're being, like, legit about it. And he's like, wait a minute, I have been, like, kind of doing a lot of exercise and I've lost a lot of weight and my acne's cleared up. I'm not the person I used to be. I'm a different person now. Maybe I am Hawk. I'm going to have everybody start calling me Hawk. And then kind of Nadine kind of talks him into, like, setting the bomb off anyway. But that kind of whole thing was, like, just cut out, which was, like, really crucial, I thought. So they swapped Nadine for Rita Blakemore. And then they didn't really go into Joe and Leo at all, which they really should have, because he was kind of important. Even like when Nadine shows up on the doorsteps at Mother Abigail's, and she starts getting suspicious of her, like, who's this woman who come before me? And then like Joe comes up, she's like, oh, come here, Joe. She just kind of forgets about her, and then she just sneaks off, because she knew Joe was important, but they didn't really explain it. Lucy Swan was kind of like, she ended up marrying Larry Underwood. So I guess that made sense for her to have Leo or Joe or whatever the kid's name is. The kid, the whole thing was completely cut out because it was added later, and so it's not really part of the thing. And let's see, there were rats in the corn instead of weasels in the corn. Like there's a whole scene in the book where Mother Abigail goes and gets some chickens from a neighboring farm, because she's going to cook everybody chicken and biscuits when they get to Nebraska. And she gets attacked by a swarm of weasels, like all around. And she kind of like uses the faith in God and makes the weasels disperse, because the Dark Man was kind of supposed to have a weaselly looking face. And that kind of relates back to the Dark Tower, because they described him as having like one of those big red welts on his forehead. Like there's a certain type of people in the stand that have that. And they just changed him to rats in the corn instead of weasels. Ain't that big a deal, but those are most of the differences I found. They didn't use that scene where the black dudes with the mandingo dicks were like, well, see, that wasn't really in the book. I think I kind of imagined that on my own. That's my fault. I reread that part. They were wearing like pink loincloths, but they were like nearly naked, and they were like executed 62 people on a TV show, and then like the army comes in and they fight them, and then like the TV cuts away and it's like, we're having troubles, like one of those, oh no, kind of cartoon guys. Like that would have been hilarious in the TV show. They should have put that in there. That'd been a good scene. Plus you could have some gunfights, which was quite a lot lacking in the gunfight kind of category. There was the scene with the judge, but that's about it. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that they could have added to give it some spice. It's a pretty good show though, I have to say. It's kind of weird, like they're all like walking across to Las Vegas to make their stand, and like nothing really is happening. Just 4 dudes just standing against the world, just walking. And then you know it's like they're not really going there for any purpose other than just be there when the nuke goes off. Like, I don't know why. Don't make a lot of sense. As a side note, I am going to start using Tom Cullen's thing, not the MOON thing as much, but he would always say, laws, yes, laws, no. I'm going to start doing that all the time. Like I told my dog this morning, like, you want to go potty? Laws, yes, you need to go potty. M-O-O-N. That spells potty. Laws, yes. Let's go outside. It's cold out here. Laws, yes, it is. Who says that?